Okay, hello everyone. Today we're going to be making a video together. We're going to be making Star Trek intake number 17, hopefully, assuming Twitch doesn't break as well. That would be ideal. If you're watching the VOD, we tried to stream 3 times on YouTube, and even when I wasn't showing anything copyrighted, it got taken down for copyright. So we're just not going to stream on YouTube anymore, because it's a good platform. Anyway, let me switch over to my video editor here. Yeah, let me just get on Mixer real quick. That'll work out. Maybe Facebook Gaming, I hear, is the new one. Alright. So real quick, how does my volume sound in comparison to the jazz? So I want to be quite audible, but, you know, I want people to be able to hear the music as well. Everything good? Everything's good. Alright. So we can actually start making content now, hypothetically. So we're going to be making one from the Season 6 episode, The Chase. That's the one where, if you haven't seen it before, you may not want to watch this if you care about spoilers. But The Chase is the episode where they, on the Enterprise, as well as the Cardassians, the Romulans, and the Klingons, are hunting down pieces of genetic information that in the end of the episode, when they put them all together, it forms some hologram of a precursor race who says, oh, we're all came from the same species, we're all related to each other. You know, nice message of harmony or something. Anyway, we're going to be doing that. Also, I don't like this part of the music, so I'm going to skip it. Let me turn that down a little bit. Music's a little louder. Alright, I also have a clip here you can see, The Defector, if you can read that. We're not going to be using a real clip from it. I don't need like a shot of someone reacting. That's going to become clear later what I'm going to be using that for. So for now, let me just find the particular clip in here I'm looking for. And then we'll get to the outtake itself. This is after Galen's killed. A little bit further. Here it is. This is the one I'm looking for when Picard is sulking in his ready room. So I just need to find the exact start of that scene and trim the start there. Drag that all the way over to the left. And he's having a lovely chat with Troy. He's somewhat upset about the whole thing. I already warned you about spoilers. I already warned you. There's going to be a lot of spoilers here. Okay. So there's the end of the thing. Trim the end. This is the particular clip we're looking for. I'm kind of scared to actually play it now. I know, I gotcha. But let me mute the music real quick, and we'll just have a watch to the clip as it is. Alright, that's what we're looking for. We want the line squabbling delegates something something. You may notice I've already named the project 17, intake 17, Squabbling Delegates Project. So we're looking for that clip. I've already done some prep work on this just to make sure the intake would work, because there have been a number of things where I've started on one and realized it's not really going to work out. Either the outtake just doesn't fit into the scene, or the audio's really bad, or there's all kinds of reasons a particular clip might not work, but I might come back to those later eventually as I get a little more experience doing it. Anyway, this is the outtake we're looking for, and I'm not going to play the entire blooper reel for copyright reasons, but we'll just play this one.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Cut. Print. There are still several.
That's what we want. You may also notice, on all of the other outtakes, they always bleep the profanity. They forgot to do that here, so if you listen to Picard...
Print.
I will take full responsibility.
Cut.
Right here.
Print.
Yeah, they missed that one. So, people... Oh, I forgot to download... Alright, I'll do that later, it's fine. So, people on outtakes that have cursing in them, people will say either you should bleep this to make it family friendly, or you shouldn't because it's funnier that way. In this case, I still don't have to make a decision. Normally CBS bleeps it, so it's not my choice anyway. But here I still don't, because if you listen while he says it,
Print. There's still
Jonathan Frakes, who's the director, yells print at the same time, so I can't use that audio clip anyway. I have to bleep it and cut the audio. So anyway, we just want the end of that clip, and in particular you can see it starts lighting up a lot. I don't know why they do that, but I need the part just before it starts lighting up, just for lighting consistency. So we'll trim the end of that there. And then we'll go ahead and get the start of the clip. Zoom in to get the exact right one. There we go. All right. Bring that over here somewhere. So right now, the main clip is about 1:40 long, and that's not ideal. I want to keep these intakes to about a minute long. 1:40 is too much. So I'm going to have to find some things to cut out later. Lines that don't need to be there. I'd really like to cut out the stretching if I can find a way to do that. That doesn't add anything. I guess I don't know. We'll see. But first, before I do any of that, I just want to get this slotted into place. And the first thing to do about that is you can see it has these black borders around it. We need to get rid of those. So just crop the thing, and look at the preview. Make sure there's no black bars there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, I was thinking it might be a little funny to leave it in, and I might have to anyway. So we'll see. Also, just I might be a little slower to work than usual at the moment. Try not to hold that against me. Normally, I actually work with a 4K screen, but to get this stream working, I reduced my desktop resolution to 1080 because Vegas doesn't have UI scaling, so all the buttons are just tiny and it wouldn't look good on a stream. And unfortunately, that means I don't have a lot of screen real estate, so I have to do a lot of scrolling. And I don't normally scroll, just ever. So I have to figure out how to do that again. So that looks about right. Doesn't have to be perfect, that's fine. There's still that blue screen in the window there. That is what we're going to be using the defector for. We want the defector because it has a really good clip of the stars going by. So that's what that's for. Right now we need...
Now, if that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling...
Alright, it's on the line. Now if that means inconveniencing. So that's where we need to cut it in.
Let Galen's death be in vain. Now,
right there.
If that means...
Zoom back a little bit.
Now, if that means inconveniencing a few squabbling delegates... Now.
Alright, right there. So I'll split it there.
Now, if that means inconveniencing a few squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take the full responsibility.
Alright, and I'm going to cut it in a couple of places just because I haven't quite decided if it's going to transition straight back to Troy or if it's going to transition to Picard sitting down. It'll probably go straight to Troy, but let's cut it in both spots. Yeah, that looks good. I'll just drag these to the side for now. And is this...
Squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take the full responsibility.
Yeah, I don't need the line of him saying, I will take the full responsibility. That's one of the things I can cut. It's a good line, but I don't need it, and it doesn't fit with him sitting down at the same time. Actually, does he say it? He might actually say it here. I wasn't listening that carefully.
I will take full responsibility.
Yeah, he does say it. I don't need to worry about it. Fantastic. I'll need to match the audio later. I'm not going to worry about that now. You can see I've already increased the volume by 8 decibels. Just, if I leave it at default, it's really quiet. That's, if you watch the first 3 or 4 finished videos, I didn't do that and they're noticeably quieter. And you have to turn your volume way up. Default. So I just do that by default now. Everything gets plus 8 decibels. So let's do a preliminary to check, see how that cuts
of
together.
Guilt and remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
Now, if that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few...
Well, real quick, I'll just bring that audio down slightly just to match it a little better.
Remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
Now, if that means inconveniencing a group of...
Alright, that audio cut is really sudden. So let me try... At this point, I'm just going to drag it forward a couple frames, drag it back a couple frames. I'm just going to try and get the audio to line up a bit cleanly. And I'll probably end up having the audio from one bit how to word that? Like, if the audio... You know what, I'll just do it. That'll be easier to show. I might do something like this, where the audio from the previous bit is still playing into the next clip.
Death be in vain.
Now, if that means
Death be in vain.
Now, if that means
That immediately sounds better. It's not good. It's not great yet. It still needs work, but it's a lot better already.
Death be in vain.
Now, if that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling...
Death be in vain.
Now, if that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling...
I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
Now, if that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates...
His voice gets a lot deeper on the outtake. That's going to be a problem, because I'm still not good at that.
Be in vain.
Now, if that means...
Ideally, I want the now, his line now, to also... Yeah, that's the issue. I want to cut it between sentences, so hopefully it's less obvious.
Now, if that means
Did I cut off a little bit here? Can I drag back? No, that's the very start. That's all I have to work with.
Now, if that means
I'll probably actually cut out the word now just entirely.
That means inconvenient. If that means
Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Because the start of the word now cuts out, and that's not ideal. Let's get some... Okay. So I just want the end of the previous sentence, and cut it there. Right, I forgot I uncoupled these. Alright, preliminary check, how does that sound now? Yeah, the clarity's different, I'm gonna have to work with that later. That's usually the last thing I do, making the audio quality match, and I'm not good at it, so hopefully people in the chat know how to do it, because I sure don't.
Be in vain.
If that means inconvenience.
Death be in vain.
If that means...
That's a little too soon.
Death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group...
I really want... I have an idea of what I can do. So, right now the sentences are way too close together, that's a problem, but I'm not sure there's anything I can do about it, just with these clips as they are. So, I have an idea. If I cut just briefly to Troy looking concerned, then that'll give me a couple seconds breathing room to separate the sentences and make the audio shift not quite as obvious and give a little bit of space between sentences.
Death be in vain.
If that means inconvenient...
Where do I have a good shot of Troy looking concerned? Right there. But how long is it? It's only like 8 frames. I'll try it, give it a quick test, cut it just before she starts talking. I'm worried about making the cuts too quick, too close together, because TNG generally doesn't have quick cuts, and I need to make it match the length of normal TNG cuts. But let's see how that looks initially. Also, drop down the audio because it's probably not going to match.
Goose chase to purge myself of guilt and remorse.
No, I'm not putting in the
I
mariachi
will not
band.
let Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of...
I like that. Okay. I like how that is. The mariachi band's great, by the way, but maybe not in here. I know you're joking. I like how that looks. I just want to, let's see, uncouple that, uncouple these two, delete the audio there. And let's say trim a few frames off there and then drag those together a little bit. So the not be in vain line starts happening while the camera's on Troy to try and merge them together a little bit.
I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
There's also the important thing of the engine sounds in the background. That's a big part of it, so I need to find one of those right now. I just need a bit that's quiet, where nobody's talking and Captain Picard's shirt isn't rustling, apparently. And he's not going... Right there. That's what I want. Right after he finishes... That's... Nope, I want the audio clip, not the video clip.
Thinking like that.
If I had gone. If I had...
Yeah, this is pretty much always how I get my background audio. In fact, let me turn it up just to make it more clear if you can't hear it. That rumble in the background. That's what I need. It's a lot easier to just sample it from the same episode than try and find like some YouTube video of engine noises that are 10 hours long. You have to download the whole thing. It's not great. Alright, so after he finishes tucking his shirt, and before he starts talking.
If I had gone.
That might be good. Let's see. Nope. Cut off a few more frames. I think I cut off too many. Let's just zoom in. That might be good. Alright. Whenever you cut in Vegas, if anyone here has experience and knows if there's a way to turn that off, whenever you cut something or split something, it always puts a fade on the end, and that's not ideal. That's not what I want. Anyway, let's get a new audio track. There's so little room for activities when you're on 1080p. What is the point of this resolution anymore? Never upgrade to 4K. It's hard to go back. Let me just drag all these onto the top clip. That's where I want those. Never upgrade to a resolution when you wouldn't be happy going back to the old resolution. That's one of the reasons I don't want a high frame rate monitor. It would be painful to go back. So just paste that a few times. It's an engine sound. Nobody's going to notice if it repeats itself. It's fine. So how does that sound now?
I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
That's immediately better. I also need to match the colors of the clips, but I'll do that in a little bit. I noticed right on the left side, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little bit of a dark edge, so I need to crop the frame a little bit more to get rid of that. And get rid of that. And that creates a little black border, so I need to adjust the bottom of the frame to make the aspect ratio right. Yeah, that looks good. Let's listen to it again.
Let Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates...
Let Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of...
I feel like the delay is a little bit too long there. Let me cut that... Reduce the delay between sentences just a little
Galen's
bit.
Death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling...
Still more. I don't want them to be too close together, but I want it to sound natural. This is mostly what making intakes is. It's just playing the same bit of the clip over and over, trying to make it sound natural. That's most of the process.
Be in vain.
If that means inconvenience...
That sounds good. I like that.
Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a...
Alright, now I just want to pull this audio forward a little bit and fade it there so it doesn't just cut off suddenly.
Vain.
If that means...
Death be in vain.
That means
Cut it, fade it out a little bit sooner.
Be in vain.
that means
That sounds good. What do you guys think?
Be in vain.
that means inconveniencing a group.
I like that. Fade in a little more here, but
In vain.
That means
Death be in vain.
that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days. Then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
I think that's good. I think that's good. So the next thing to do here, if I need to, I can come back to it later, but it should be okay. So is that unmatched now? No, it's fine. Let me slot in the rest of the clip now. Do I need this? No, I don't want that because he's already sat down. Options, Preferences, Editing tab. Preferences, Editing, and remove check from Time Selection Envelope Fade. Time Selection Audio. Ooh, does that get rid of it? Oh, I hate that feature. Maybe I didn't press apply. Alright, that didn't seem to do it. But maybe something else in here. Enable looping? No, no, no. Doesn't matter. It still did the thing here. If I split in the middle, it might. Yeah. Click, split. It still creates the fades on either side, which is not ideal. I'll come back to that later. So I don't want the clip of him sitting down because he's already sat down by the end of the outtake. Oh. That little shink sound. That might fit in well with him shoving papers off his desk.
Print.
That might work. Let's just leave that there for now.
Print. 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 Print.
So now I need to get rid of all the audio, or most of it anyway, after that, that sound. I'll do a split here. I might want to keep it later, so I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to drop the gain down to -infinity. Actually, there's one little bit. I want him... Yeah, the second one. Let me do another split here. Get rid of that. So that should get rid of Picard cursing and Director Frakes yelling print. So let's see how that sounds now.
Captain.
That's okay. Let's see. Let's listen to it again. I mean, there's the obvious problem of him visibly saying something, but that's going to go away when we bleep it. So that'll fix itself. Just before Picard hits the thing, Frakes makes a little noise, so I need to get rid of that. Let's just see if I trim down this clip completely. I'm just going to leave those fades there for now. No. What if I fade? What if I split one frame later? Split, drop that down to 0. Good. Alright, that gets rid of Jonathan Frakes' little sound he makes.
Cut.
Okay, I should probably also get rid of him saying cut. That might be a bad thing to leave in.
Cut. Cut.
I want to cut out as little audio as possible because there's the sounds of them moving around.
Cut.
So I just want to get it right before he says cut.
Cut. Cut. Cut.
That sounds good. Split it there. Again, I don't want to delete anything, so I'm just going to drop the audio gain to -infinity.
Cut.
Right there. That should do it. Let's have a listen back. Alright, that sounds good so far, but I noticed a little bit of talking in the background. It's not ideal. But that could be mistaken for just like something on his desk bouncing, so I'll leave it alone for now. So let's watch back all the relevant edits and see how it sounds as on the whole.
Guilt and remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Captain.
It's alright. Is there music playing before?
Enterprise and its crew on some wild goose chase to
No, there's no music playing before. So let me just put a longer fade on this, because the music seems to come in kind of suddenly. In fact, I'm gonna try and get rid of that little audio at the end there. It's not great. What if... Alright, what if I split it there, bring that down to 0, and then put a fade in? Split it a little too soon. Split it there instead, put a fade in. Longer fade. What if I do that different kind of fade? Oh, I didn't actually bring that to 0. That's not the button I meant to press. It's fade type. Let's do a straight line. I don't know. Yeah, that sounds good. Options, uncheck, quick fade audio edits. Well, alright, let's test it, see if it works. Split. My god, it's gotten rid of it. Thank God. Or specifically, thank Martini McFly. Anyway, let me save the project. Alright. So I'm liking how this is turning out so far. I want to do something else other than the audio right now. So I'm going to try and match the initial... Let me get rid of the blue screen first. Normally it's good to, you can make media effects or visual effects for the entire clip. But since I'm not going to be splitting this clip up at all, I don't need to worry about that. I can just do it in the primary. In the thing. I don't know. In the clip. You know, the clip in the clip. So what do I want? I pretty much always have to do brightness and contrast. I sometimes have to do color corrector. And chroma key. Chroma key. I actually want that to be first. So let me do the chroma key first. Take this, put it there. What's the point of that? Alright. Eyedropper, chroma key. Turn it back on. Okay. Let me... Curse you, 1080p. Make me have to resize all my windows. Alright. Drop down that. Actually, I want something to make this a little easier for me. Let's insert a video track. I want that to be down there, please. Thank you. Get rid of that. Generate some media. Checkerboard. Drag that all the way through. And how do I generate a media option? No? Properties? Properties. Not properties. Where's the thing? I did it yesterday. I need to make the checkerboard just smaller. Because it's kind of... Edit generated media, that's what I'm looking for. Where's the window? That was definitely... Oh. It's off on my other screen, that's why it wasn't working. I don't know why it went to the bottom right corner of my second screen, but I found it. Everything's fine. Let's drop down that. There we go. That should help. Just make sure nothing's getting rid of that I'm actually using. I know... Why can't this thing just have UI scaling? Why can't the buttons be this size at high resolution? Alright. It looks like it's not cutting off Troy's uniform at all. That's what I want. Low threshold. Yeah, I need to get rid of some extra there. That looks good. At this point, I can get rid of the checkerboard. And now, let's bring in the defector. That's the episode I want. I can get rid of the audio. I don't need the audio at all. Oh, it's just going to take a second to spin up that drive because I wasn't actually using that hard drive. Okay. Now I want a bit where they're at warp. I don't remember exactly where it is. It is the defector, right? I hope so, because that's the only one I have ready. At warp, no. Are they at warp here? I seem to... It was during a captain's log, I think. They're flying toward the camera. At warp, where is it? It must be when they're going toward Nelvana 3. There it is. That's what I want. Alright, let's get the start of that. Yeah, it's this sort of third on the right side that I want, because that'll fit in the window reasonably well. Just cut it there for now. I'll probably change it later. Drag that all the way over. Looks like it created an extra track here I don't need. Myself back. What is this thing again? Nothing I want, so let's just delete it. It's playing a bit of audio there, though. Delete that. Oh, right, that was where I was, that was getting the ambient noise of the engines. Okay. Okay, this is okay, I kind of want to leave that in, but I'm not going to, for obvious reasons. Just have another Enterprise flying by. That'll work. Fantastic. Let's maybe trim that back a little bit. Nope. Delete that keyframe, drag to the start of the clip, crop it that way. Vegas, why are you the way that you are? I don't want the keyframe there, I want the keyframe over here. Thank you. My goodness.
Seeing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full...
Alright. See the little bit of the Enterprise there. Let me, I might do an alternate thing where the Enterprise just flies by. We'll see. Alright, how does that look? I know it's not long enough, but how does it look for now?
Seeing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it.
It's okay. What would it look like if, say, I did a crossfade?
Seeing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
It's the multicolor thing that makes it difficult. Let me try and crossfade just a little bit here, just a small portion.
Seeing a group of
that might actually work okay. What if I just do that? Crossfade that a few times. I don't know what this will look like, but we'll find out.
Seeing a group of squabbling delegates for a few...
That looks okay. I keep saying that looks okay, because it does. Let me just get the full clip here and see how it looks all together. Drag that in. I'm just doing... It's crossfading by 5 frames, which incidentally is apparently the exact length of the thing. 5 frames, rather. Did I say 5 seconds? 5 frames. Did I make this too long? I made it way too long. I was just going to the very end here. Wasn't quite paying attention. And just leave that for now. Alright, how does that look?
Means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
So, alright, if you look at the bottom here,
squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full
that's
responsibility.
not ideal. And you can see a little bit of the chroma key outline in Picard. So I need to try and fix that. Just go into media effects here. See what happens. That's not good. What if I increase that? Increase the high threshold? Increase the low threshold? What if I blur it slightly? Just very slightly. That looks okay. You guys think that looks okay? Any thoughts on Picard's shoulder here? Back the saturation. Well, I'm gonna do the color correcting in a moment. I'll see how the space looks against it when I match the color to the main clip. And we'll do any adjusting there. Alright, I think that's good.
Of guilt and remorse.
Color correcting does definitely still need to be done. I just haven't done it quite yet. Yeah, that's much brighter. Alright, first thing, it always needs brightness and contrast. It usually ends up being like 0.05 brightness, 0.2 contrast. That usually works. A little more brightness. 0.07. Maybe. It looks... Yeah, it looks like the saturation's a little bit low. I think you're right about that. Is there... Yeah, there's saturation here. What if I increase the saturation slightly? Okay, less slightly. Is this even turned on? Yes, it's just a slight effect. 1.2. That looks like a little too much. The red on his uniform's a little off. 1.1. I just want to be cautious about making it too saturated, but it definitely needs some. It also needs to be more yellow. That's easy, though. I'm just going to drag... Nope, that's way too yellow. Way too yellow. How does this work again? Right, that's 180. 0.01. How does that look in comparison? I think that looks better. It's a bit hard to tell. Let me get the preview bigger. Off, on, and off, and on. Or 1, or 2. Or 1? No, that's not... This isn't a visual. This isn't an eye inspection. Alright, let me bring that down again. Let me see how it looks overall.
Not let Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. At least for now. I still need to match the audio. There's still a little bit of weirdness around the edge of the frame, but I'm just going to pretend like that's a force field active. So that's fine. In fact, how does it look? Yeah.
Be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days.
I still don't like
so
that bit.
I will take full responsibility.
But I don't care that much. It looked like the color suddenly shifted on the black there. Let me watch it back, right here. Yeah, it suddenly got way more... Oh, because it's not in the middle of a crossfade, that's why. So let me do another crossfade there just to make sure it matches. That's right. Do it on the other side. Drag that in.
Inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Honestly, who's going to be looking at the window? It's probably fine.
Captain.
So how's the volume comparison? It's the first thing I want to do, match the volume.
I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of...
Death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of...
A little bit louder.
Death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of
Slightly quieter.
Death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates
That
for a
sounds
few
good.
days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
I might need to cut this a little bit sooner, because you can see he starts... The best way is to match the levels. Ah, I've heard the word levels before, yes. I really know nothing about audio editing, I just drag the volume, the gain slider. I think I want to cut this right after... Like right here. I don't know, I'll leave it for now, see how it looks at the end. It's pretty easy to change if I change my mind about that. Let's see. Alright, so right now my biggest issue is this is way too long. It's like 40 seconds too long. So I'm going to leave the audio alone for now because I don't want to do it. So let's just find clips we can cut out. Let's watch it from the beginning. You can probably get rid of this. Just start it later.
Come.
How's it going?
I thought that if I stared at these...
So, first thing, I can definitely start it at the how's it going.
How's it going?
Let me trim it there. And I can tell the music's still playing, or it's playing already, so let's fade in.
How's it going?
A little bit longer fade.
How's it going?
Alright,
thought
that's
that if
good
I stared
so
at these
far.
number blocks long enough, then I would begin to see some kind of pattern.
That part's important.
So far, nothing.
That's important.
I meant, how's it going with you?
I'm not sure that line is important, but I have to keep it in because I can't transition straight between this shot and that shot. So I need the transition of Troy talking to him anyway.
If I had gone with him.
Captain, you can't start
Oops.
thinking like that. You didn't abandon him. You chose not to abandon a lifelong career. It was the right decision and in no way responsible for his death.
I realize that.
I know.
I think... Okay, that's a bad
Chose
frame.
not to abandon a lifelong career.
I think...
That. Thinking like that.
You can't keep thinking like that. I might be able to cut
It was the
to...
right decision and in no
I
way
realize that.
responsible for his death.
I realize that.
I know how much the professor...
How much more do I have to cut out of this? Like 25 seconds? It could be a little bit longer than usual if it has to be, but I want to try and cut it down to a minute.
If I had gone with him.
Captain, you can't start thinking like that. You didn't abandon him. You chose not to abandon a lifelong career. It was the right decision and in no way...
I can certainly get rid of the you chose to not abandon a lifelong career. That part I don't need.
You didn't abandon him. You chose...
Yeah, let's split it there. And there.
You chose not to abandon a lifelong career.
And split it right there. Really wish I hadn't uncoupled these again, but that's okay. Select every. I'll just do it manually. It's fine. Select. Drag that in the middle there. All right, how's that? Oh, I don't have to redo the fade now. I don't have to do that.
You didn't abandon him. It was the right decision and in no way responsible for his death.
I realize that.
I know how much the professor meant to you.
Do I need that?
And how much you want to find out what happened. But staring at these numbers isn't going to bring him back.
I want to have it cut at the but staring at these numbers, but I want to get rid of the but, if possible.
Want to find out what happened. But staring at these numbers isn't going. Staring at these.
I don't think that's going to work, but I'm going to try it anyway. Just because that's a good chunk of time I can cut out of the video. I can always just Control Z. Actually, I can just select Control A, then do that. Oh, does it? No, I can't do that because it's a continuous shot of Troy. Dang it, Troy. Why do you gotta be like that? Oh, nope, don't do that. I already got rid of that for a reason. Alright.
You didn't abandon him. It was the right decision and in no way responsible for his death.
I realize that.
So, this isn't something I can really change, but listen to her line here more carefully.
Decision and in no way. Right decision and in no way responsible.
It was the right decision and in no way responsible for his death. She missed a U there, and you are in no way responsible for his death.
It was the right decision and in no way responsible for his death.
This is one of the things I was doing when I was prepping, just making sure this would work. I tried that cut as well, and I went back and made sure, did I cut out an implicit U from an earlier line? Nope, she just
It was the right decision and in no way responsible for his death.
I realize that.
Okay, I guess that makes sense as a sentence. Still sounds weird, but I guess it's grammatically correct.
It was the right decision and in no way responsible for his death.
I realize that.
I know how much the professor meant to you. And how much you want to find out what happened. But staring at these numbers.
It just feels weird. If I cut to him stretching, he's leaning against the wall right now, and he's leaning against the wall later. So I'm concerned that stretching would mess with that continuity a little bit. I realize I'm using the word continuity a little loosely, but
I know how much the professor meant to you. And how much you want to find out what happened. But staring at these numbers isn't going to bring him back. The conference on Italia 7 has been scheduled for 6 months. Starfleet is relying on your mediation efforts
Counselor, this is...
I can definitely get rid of the comment about the 6 months.
But staring at these numbers isn't going to bring him back. The conference on Italia...
Yeah, split that. Split that.
The conference on Italia 7 has been scheduled for 6 months.
The stretching, I think I do want to leave it in, yes. I'm just not... I just think it might have to go here. Can I shorten it, though? Not really, because it's a continuous shot. If I have to do that to cut more time, yeah, I can splice that in over here and overlay some audio to cut it down a little more. But that's a lot of work. I don't want to do work. Just want to find the easy way to do it. Just find lines to cut out.
Starfleet is relying on your mediation efforts
Counselor,
to...
this is not simply a case of me.
Should probably watch that whole
Staring
clip
at
back.
these numbers isn't going to bring him back. Starfleet is relying on your mediation efforts
Counselor,
to...
this is not simply a case of me taking the Enterprise and its crew on some wild goose chase to purge myself of guilt and remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
I'm not sure I need the I will not let Galen's death be in vain. I'm not sure it's necessary, but I think it might be contextually important. I'm gonna leave it.
I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it.
I still
will
need to
take
fix
full
the audio, but I'll do that
responsibility.
later. Anything I can cut out from the end?
Captain.
I mean, I could, of course, cut it there, but I think I like that shot of him looking sort of upset about how he's been treating Troy. I think that's good. So that needs a fade. Nobody watches the end of the videos anyways, according to YouTube analytics. I just need it to just mostly correct. It doesn't have to be perfect. I was just checking my YouTube account. I was going to get some analytics. I have emails saying, your video has been removed from YouTube. And it's the live stream that I attempted. In fact, let's read that. As you may know, our community guidelines decide which content we allow and don't allow on YouTube. Your video, live making intake number 17 and complaining about YouTube, was flagged to us for review. Upon review, we've determined that it violates our guidelines and we've removed it from YouTube. It does say blah blah blah, they've been relying less on human, more on automation because of the crisis. No community guideline strike. I mean, it's not really worth appealing. Yeah, they didn't review it. It was automated. If you believe it was a mistake, we'd love to hear from you. It's just the beginning little clips. It's not even worth disputing that, because what am I going to do if I get a clip back? It didn't result in any strikes, so I'm just going to leave it alone. Now, if this whole thing gets taken down, then I'll appeal that. How long is it now? A minute 20 something? Like a minute 27? Oh, there it is, a minute 29. That's definitely longer than I like. Let me go back to my usual video lengths. 38 seconds, a minute 18. I think a minute 18 is my longest. I really don't want to put in the work to move the stretching clip.
I meant, how's it going with you?
See how it looks and where it is. Yeah, let's start from the beginning.
How's it going?
I thought that if I stared at these number blocks long enough,
I could
then
get
I
rid of
would
the how's it
begin to
going,
see
but that's
some
like
kind
2
of pattern.
seconds, and it's
So
just
far.
contextual.
Nothing.
I meant, how's it going with you?
I can't get rid of that because I need the shot of Troy to blend the two clips together.
If I had gone with him,
Captain, you can't start thinking like...
You know, one thing I do sometimes to save just a couple of seconds, and it would work fine here. Picard just sitting perfectly still. If I just not cut that out, but if I just speed up that portion, how much time would that even save me? Literally 1 second.
if I had
You know what? I'll take the second. It's fine. So if I just playback rate 2, how long is this? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 31 frames. Alright, if I just drag that over here. Just save the smallest bit of time. How does that look? Sometimes it looks bad, but
If I had gone,
it's a little jumpy. Sometimes it looks fine.
if I had, if I had, if I had, if I had gone,
It's okay. But is it worth 1 second? Nah, I'll just leave it. It's fine. Alright, restart.
if I had gone with him.
Captain, you can't start thinking like that. You didn't abandon him. It was the right decision and in no way responsible for his death.
You know, if I really wanted to, I could just cut out everything before the "you didn't abandon him." Because I think the "you didn't abandon him" adds enough context on its own.
You didn't abandon him. It was the right decision and in no way responsible for his death.
I realize that.
I know how much the professor meant to you, and how much you want to find out what happened. But staring at these numbers isn't going to bring him back. Starfleet is relying on your mediation efforts
Counselor,
to...
this is not simply a case of me taking the Enterprise and its crew on some wild goose chase to purge myself of guilt and remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Captain,
You know, maybe I should do that. Just cut out everything before this.
you didn't abandon him.
I don't think the other stuff is necessary. Oh, I just remembered why I didn't download a sensor beep beforehand, because I was just going to pull it from, I think, Whoopi Goldberg, because it's Whoopi Goldberg.
Do something about it.
I did everything I could think of. It got me fired.
Do you think Dr. Regia... What is this man's name?
Yeah, I've already made one for this, so I'm not worried about it. There it is. This is what I want. I don't need a lot, just the tiniest little sample, because it's just a constant beep. It's fine. Get rid of that. Let me slot that into place now. Where does he... Right there. Crossfade? Crossfade. Need it a little longer. Maybe one more. And I'm going to drop the volume of all these. That sounds pretty bad, actually. Would it sound better when I drop the volume? Not really. A warble, you say? Well, here's what I have to work with. I have wah-wah, that's a thing. Vibrato. I can reverb it. I don't think reverb's the right thing. Yeah. Does. Maybe I can just find a longer sensor beep. Hopefully this sensor beep isn't copyrighted on YouTube. Nope, that's a bad one. That one's good. I like that one. YouTube to MP3. Download that video. and switch things because I don't know what it's going to show on my file system when I save this. Okay, and save this to my sound effects. Import. Sound effects. Sensor beep. Get rid of those. That's not helpful. Alright. Alright, there was like a good 5 seconds of just silence before the clip for no good reason. You say this isn't copyrighted, but I'm going to be posting this on YouTube, and everything's copyrighted on YouTube. Alright, it's definitely long enough. Let's cut it there. Drop down the volume. It's a little short. Oh, it's a little too soon. Yeah, I don't know what was up with YouTube just taking down things. All I had, it was a picture of a cup of coffee. And then after that, my video got taken down for copyright when I was looking at my own video manager. Just my own YouTube video manager, and that was copyrighted apparently. Thanks, YouTube. Slightly too long. A little bit later. I think that's good. I have to put a sensor beep in there because I had to cut the audio because Jonathan Frakes is yelling in it. Also, can I pitch shift this down? It's a little... Let me try that. I want this to be lower pitch. Pitch shift. Okay. Well, these words certainly mean something, so let's see what happens when I click on them. What if I drop that one? Nope. Nope, that's a bad one. Too much. Still too much. Maybe this isn't such a good idea. How does it sound without again? Yeah, it's definitely too high pitch. I bring that down a little more. I think that's okay. Well, I got the 100 cents thing. I just wasn't sure exactly how much a semitone is in regards to pitch. I don't have a good instinct's not the right word, but I don't have a good instinct. I don't have a good sense, that's the word, of how much a semitone will affect it. Alright, so I did 1.5 there. So let me do... I feel like this should be a little bit higher pitch. So let me just do one semitone and leave the scents as they are. Alright, how does that sound? I still feel like I need to cut this out just a couple frames sooner, like right here. Let's try that. No, that doesn't really look better. Right? You know, What if I just cut it here? Cut it right there. I'll just Control Z if this doesn't work. Yeah, I don't think I need the second hit. Especially since what I've been sort of eyeing is Frake starts smiling. Cut that out a couple frames sooner. Just slight adjust. I didn't need to split it. I could just whatever. Maybe put it back. Very indecisive. Let me make this fade a little more aggressive.
Captain.
Yeah, I think that's better. Alright. Let's watch it from around here again.
Simply a case of me taking the Enterprise and its crew on some wild goose chase to purge myself of guilt and remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Captain.
It seems okay. It even shaved off a couple seconds. Which we still need to get rid of like 5. Where can we shave off? I still think I can get rid of...
Thinking like that.
I still think I can get rid of everything before the, Yeah, my concern about the second hit is just he's smiling in it. And the intention is that he's very frustrated. I forgot where the thing I was going to look for is.
How's
I'm
it
just going
going?
to play back the whole thing.
I thought that if I stared at these number blocks long enough, then I would begin to see some kind of pattern. So far, nothing.
I meant, how's it going with you?
The view of space when Troy leaves the room. I didn't adjust anything after Troy leaves the room. I think you might leave... That's the, Oh, I see what you mean. I see exactly what you mean. There's no, like, warp dust moving across the view screen. But you know what? Screw it. My method is
So be it.
technically more correct. Because the Enterprise is definitely a warp in this scene. I checked that before I started. Screw consistency. My method is more correct. Alright. Let's find that clip again. Because I felt like I could cut out a good... Oh, I think it was right here. I still think I can cut out everything before this. But this... Because the whole idea is Picard getting frustrated, the extra 35 seconds of build-up might be helpful to that feeling. Let's see.
I know how much the professor meant to you. And how much you want to find out what happened. But staring at these numbers isn't going to bring him back. Starfleet is relying on your mediation efforts
Counselor, this is not simply a case of me taking the Enterprise and its crew on some wild goose chase to purge myself of guilt and remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Captain.
I know I still need to match this audio. Right, well, if you want the rest of the stream, hypothetically it should be posted to YouTube later, but we'll see about that. Let's get to work matching this audio. That's bugging me the most now. I think I've put it off long
Galen's
enough.
death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates.
So I'm definitely open to suggestions on how to match this, because I don't know how. I was just gonna try random or vaguely random effects until it sounded okay. And then probably end up just turning all those off and leaving it as it was.
Morse, I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a...
There's definitely too much bass in this. I need to get rid of some of the bass, which is definitely a thing that you can do with equalization. That's a thing. Bass. -5.
Full responsibility. Full responsibility.
That did nothing.
Full responsibility.
Did absolutely nothing. -25.
Full responsibility.
Okay, that did something, but it sounds bad. Just a little bit.
Full responsibility.
Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it.
That actually sounds okay. Hang on. Hang on. Did I do it on accident?
I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of
No, I did
squabbling
not.
delegates.
It's definitely
Not
closer.
let-
Let's drop some of the mid. I don't know.
I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days.
I think I need to increase the volume slightly.
I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
You know, I think I'm actually happy with that, because I'm mostly concerned if I keep touching it, I'm going to break it, and I think that's good enough.
Of guilt and remorse, I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Yeah, a little bit of the mid. I think that's okay. Or, you know, I might just be hearing things. Maybe I didn't change anything. Who knows? I'm still eyeing this cut here. It's pretty much done other than cutting for time.
I know how much the professor meant to you, and how much you want to find out what happened.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the leap, cut out all that. That brings it to 50... How long? 57 seconds, which is pretty much ideal for what I'm looking for in terms of length. Alright, let's watch the whole thing back, see how it sounds, and how it looks.
I know how much the professor meant to you, and how much you want to find out what happened. But staring at these numbers isn't going to bring him back. Starfleet is relying on your mediation efforts
Counselor, this is not simply a case of me taking the Enterprise and its crew on some wild goose chase to purge myself of guilt and remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Captain.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, let's try that. Let's get a bit of a fade going on. It's 23 frames per second, so let's try 12 for half a second to fade in.
I know how much the professor...
It's a little too long. Quarter second?
I know how much...
Still a little too long. 4 frames of fade.
I know how much the professor...
What about literally 1 frame of fade in?
I know how much...
2 frames.
I know how much the professor... I know how much... I know how...
The issue... I can go back to the 2 cuts, the 2 hits. If I need to. I do have some extra time to work with now. Yeah, I'm just kind of ignoring the audio. I'm trying to think of how long TNG clips usually take to fade in, and it feels like they're kind of long.
I know how much the professor meant to you. And how much you...
What happens if it fades over the
I
entire
know how
thing?
much the professor meant to you. And how much you want to find out what
It
happened.
might be slightly longer than a typical TNG fade. I know a way to find out. Let me just Control-Z all these changes. Let me copy this over here. Drag that whole thing. So now I have the start of the clip. Actually, I don't think... Yeah, it doesn't even... The clip doesn't even fade in, it just starts. There's no fade here. I do want a little bit of a fade in, yes, but it's just how much? What about just a 5-frame fade? A little bit longer, but still short.
I know how much the professor meant. I know how much the professor meant to you.
I want to see what it sounds like if I make the fade on the audio longer.
I know how much the professor...
I think I want the fade to end like when she's halfway through her first
I
word.
know how...
Okay, her first word is I, that doesn't really work, but just slightly into her speech. How's that?
I know how much the professor meant to you.
I think that's okay. Any thoughts?
I know how much the professor meant to you. And how much you want to find out what happened. But staring at these numbers isn't going to bring him... I know how much the professor...
That looks about how long a TNG cut usually is.
I know how much the professor...
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's readdress whether there should be 2 hits. Let's save this. And if this is the final cut, or this is a potential for the final cut, so I'm just going to render it out right now. So if I mess up when I'm testing the 2 cuts, I just have it finished still. Frame size 1436 by 1080. That's all correct. Intakes 17 squabbling delegates, not delegates. Main.mp4 and render. And don't crash. Alright, I have that. That's done. I also need... I'm not just going to end it with the... When the video's done, I'm also going to do the thumbnail and uploading and doing all the tags. Okay. No, I can just copy all this. Put it over here. That's actually a better idea than messing with my finished thing. I don't know why I didn't do that before. What's the... Oh, that's engine sound, that's right. Alright, drag this a little bit. What did I... Oh, right. I'm also a bit concerned about how much he jumps in his chair. Because that seems... He seems really happy. That's really my concern. Alright, well, let's drag that in. Yeah, I need to make it there. Alright, bring that audio up to match. Split it there, cut off the audio. Split it there, cut that off, and fade. That's what it was before, I believe, more or less. Alright, let's watch the whole thing back.
Captain.
That sounds a little odd. Why does that sound weird? Is it the fade? I think this cut might be a little bit too late. Let's drop it more like over here. And then fade out. And then let's change the fade type. Oh, it was a straight line before too. I remember that. That sounds good. All right. Let's watch starting from here.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Captain.
Oh, I know what the weird sound is. It's because this is fading in for so long that the engine sound sort of disappears for a little bit. I think that's what it is. So let me fade that last one out to match here. And let's listen back.
Then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Oh, that sounds much better.
Captain.
You might be right about the second hit. Let's watch it. Just keep watching. Oh, yeah, this is most of making the intakes, just watching it over and over and over again, seeing if I can identify the problem.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will
Or
take
if there is
full
a problem.
responsibility.
Captain.
You know, I think that does work, actually. I think that's good. Let me save it. And let's render it out again. Let's make this main 2. That's the end of the clip. It has like a few frames where it starts getting really bright and then it cuts to the next blooper. So that's all I have to work with. In fact, I think we have the entire blooper clip included.
Inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates.
Yeah, we don't include the entire video of the clip, but we have all of the audio. It's just overlaid with Troy to make it look more natural.
I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Captain.
You know, one downside of this being on YouTube, on Twitch now instead of YouTube, when I upload it to YouTube, it's not going to have any of the chat. So I'm just going to be talking to nobody, and that's going to look great. There's going to be no chat playback. Thanks, YouTube. So anyone watching on the VOD, someone's following me on whatever. It's the second it cuts to Troy, I think. So anyone watching on the VOD, you're not seeing anyone actually talking in the chat. You can thank YouTube for that, because they kept copyright striking me. Well, not copyright striking, but taking me down for copyright when I wasn't showing anything copyrighted. The audio when second cuts suddenly to Troy. Yeah, that's sort of the issue. That's one of the reasons I cut it too, in addition to the smiling, Oh wait, is that the... There's the problem. There's the problem. Troy here is facing to the right and her mouth is slightly open. Here it's closed and she's looking down at the table. Whereas if we cut it out, if we remove the second hit, then she's looking down at the table with her mouth closed, like she should be in the next clip. Also, the brightness is still wrong. Brightness is definitely still wrong. So I need to re-render this anyway. That's something that's caused me problems with other things, matching the faces people are making. Honestly, that's been the biggest thing that bugs me in other videos. Yeah. I think I do like how he hits it twice, but her face bothers me. Not in the sense that she's ugly, in the sense that it doesn't match. However, did I already render it? Did I do that? I don't remember. Hang on. Let me go back to my file system. Intakes. And yeah, I already rendered it. So I can include that as a supplemental anyway, if I really want to. I'm going to get rid of all this, and I'm going to re-render the main one. Because I want to redo the brightness a little bit, because her face is much more brightly lit here than here. So let's just adjust that. Brightness and contrast. What if I make it a whole 0.0? That's fine. Let's see, 0.1. Say 0.22, 0.25. Brightness is still wrong. How bright is this thing? 0.3, 0.4. Honestly, that kind of looks closer. It's a little too contrasty, but I can... It's not perfect, but I think it's better like that. I'm happy with that brightness. Alright. I think it might be finished now. I know the audio still doesn't match perfectly, but as I said before, I kind of don't want to touch it again in case I break it. Because right now it sounds fine. So let's watch the whole thing start to finish, see how it looks, see if there's anything we're missing that we might need to change.
I know how much the professor meant to you.
Hang on, let me get that preview up.
And how much you want to find out what happened. But staring at these numbers isn't going to bring him back. Starfleet is relying on your mediation efforts
Counselor, this is not simply a case of me taking the Enterprise and its crew on some wild goose chase to
we put
purge
in the engine
myself
sounds.
of guilt and remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
Did we?
That means
Hang on, you're right. I was thinking you just meant putting engine sounds in at all. I don't think we adjusted that. Oh no, we did. Because the cut is a little bit different. And the reason it was messed up was because we changed how long this cut went in the 2-hit version. So yeah, the engine sound should be fine.
Crew on some wild goose chase to purge myself of guilt and remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
That means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Her face. Her face. It's close, but it's not... Actually, no. I was thinking maybe I could... like, flip just this part of her. If I... But there's the, there's that model starship in the corner. I can't flip the clip. Unless that starship isn't shown in other... No, it is. It's shown here. Her face. Troy, why can't you make consistent faces between completely different takes? Why would you do this to me, Marina? Alright, well, let's just out of curiosity, Levels instead of brightness contrast. Still don't know what that means, but I'll look at it. Nope, that's worse. That's substantially worse anyway. Levels. Add effect. Levels. Levels. There's levels. What does that do? I have no idea what that does. There's gamma. Alright, let's play with the gamma. Okay, what if... What if... I... I, I don't know what any of this means. I'm just messing with sliders. How's that? How does that look in comparison? Not great. That's with levels. That's with brightness contrast. Levels, brightness contrast. You can't give me control of things. You crazy? I'm just gonna break something. I mean, I get RGB and alpha channels. That makes sense to me. Input, start, input, end. Output, start, output. I think I get it. Looking at it more carefully, I think I get it. Right, here's my guess. And you can correct me when I'm inevitably wrong. But let's say you have a range 0 to 255 of a given channel. Then if I put input start to 0.1, then that would cut off like the first 25 values. So you would have a range 26 to 255. And then the output stretches that back again somehow. And then gamma is just gamma. Gamma, I know what it does. That doesn't really make sense. Maybe I don't understand what's happening. I think I was there until I got to output, and I don't know how output transforms the input. I don't know what it does to it. What is... That is completely unhelpful. Video... Okay. Okay, here's information. Information. So just the brightness or luminosity of the colors in the event as it is captured. Is this fed out preview or back to a cam... Fed out to a preview monitor or back to a camcorder. As it is captured coming into Vegas. What? Why does this do anything then? But all right. I mean, it's still too dim, but I can... And then bring that, and then that goes like this, and the output goes the same, and that stays at 1. All right. Okay. Now, I need some community input here. 1 or 2 or 1 or 2 or 1 or 2. I don't actually see a difference. They look kind of the same to me. Or 1 or 2. In terms of levels, this is as good as I'm going to get it. Because I don't actually know Hang on, let me do a different comparison, because the brightness and contrast was before the saturation, and levels was after, so let me try that again. Alright. 1 is brightness and contrast. 1 or 2. Or 1 or 2. Or 1 or 2. Patrick seems a lot paler in the levels version. He's more yellowy in the brightness and contrast version. Let me see. You can address Patrick down with levels. Nope, I'm not touching the levels again. Yeah, let's compare it with how he looks here. He does look more yellow in the normal scene. He doesn't look quite as pale. So I'm going to go with the brightness and contrast version. I'm sure with levels you can get it looking much better. But that's not going to happen. So let's not. Alright, now we're done. We are now officially complete. Now I still have to make the thumbnail, and I have to upload it and add it to the playlist. Yeah, 2 might look more natural, but there's no way I'm going through and editing the levels of the non-blooper footage to make it match. No way that's happening. Alright, let's just replace the old one. Alright, that's done. Now I just have to find I think this might make a good thumbnail image. I could also do this. The only thing to keep in mind for this is the title goes in the center of the screen, so I don't want it to be overlapping people's faces too much. It's going to overlap people's faces, I just want to minimize it. So I like this shot. I think this is a really good shot for a thumbnail, but I'm concerned about overlapping. So right now this is 4:3. You know, I'm not sure how much I rendered, I'm just going to do it again. Now it's definitely 100% all selected. It also, we just have less time than before, because I cut out like the first third of the video. So, the text needs to go in the middle, and I also need to resize this to 16:9. Right now it's 4:3. So I can cut off, like if you imagined I just had this top 2/3 of the frame, or the middle 2/3, or the bottom 2/3. So if I cut off the top 2/3, their faces would, or the top third, their faces would be cut off. So I'd have to either do the center or I'd have to keep the top and cut off the bottom. And either of those, I think, would put the text in the middle of their faces, which is less than ideal. I'm just going to grab a few different things. So what I do for that is I just select one frame to render selection, and then just, no, not that. Template, what do I do again? I got distracted. Render as PNG. Alright, so there's that one. Let's get a couple different ones. And this would be a good time to start thinking of titles. Let me just play the blooper back. I have one in mind, but if you guys can come up with something better.
Seeing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Captain.
And there's the one I have in mind is just Picard is frustrated, because that pretty much keeps in line with the style of the other titles. This might also be a good one. Let's give that one a shot. Just get a few different things. Did that? Let me switch over. Intakes folder. Switch back. Nope, that overrode it. Good job, me. Let's just call that thumbnail too. Yeah, I don't want the title to be a joke. I want it to be... The idea is it accurately describes what's happening, but not too spoilery, I guess, are my only criteria. I don't know. Normally I don't have to ask other people about this. I just do it. Okay. I was renaming it, and I just accidentally deleted it, so I need the thumbnail again. Okay. I kind of like his face in that for a thumbnail. It can be a little. But then him also looking kind of angry would fit the theme. So if he just looks vaguely upset in the thumbnail, that would be 3. Alright, those are the 3 I'm going to go with. So let me open these as separate images. Close that. Paint.net. Paint.net is good. So I don't know... Also, this is the wrong size. That needs to be a 72-point font. YouTube recommends 1280 by 720 pixels, so that's just what I do. Let me just get these all resized immediately. I don't know how much it matters, but I kind of like that one. Hang on. Let me resize to 720. What if I keep the middle? Nope, that won't work. I don't want to cut off his... I guess I can cut off his head. That sounds bad, out of context. I still really like this shot. It's a good shot. I just want to see how this will look. So I have this open, the previous thumbnail, just because I have no idea what RGB this is, so I just use the eyedropper. When I was initially making the first thumbnail, I just sort of picked something vaguely blue, and then now I just copy it because it's easier. All right, let's see how this looks. That's 17. Yeah, see, that's it's okay. It's not great. I feel like I'm okay in this instance with cutting off the top of Picard's head a little bit. Just a little bit. Whoop, nope. Add another layer. And add another layer. Yeah, that definitely fits better for text. Well, I mean, there's going to be an outline. I'm not too worried about the contrast. I just go outline object, a little softer. There, that's what the main title bit would look like. Actually, probably a little bit higher. Just a little bit. I don't really like that one. No, that one's out. It's between these two. In fact, let me just switch to 36-point font. That's what I use for the subtitle. Picard gets frustrated. Picard is frustrated. The other Picard maneuver. All right. Let's just outline all that and then copy it again here. I don't like how blank this wall is. Also, I don't think I would like this wall just to live next to. That just looks like it'd be a pain to clean, honestly. If I get a little like smudge on my wall, I can just wipe it off, but that's like a fabric. Yeah, he's in a padded cell. I don't know what's up with that. Okay. So one thing I could do, but I won't, is I could just move this. It'd be like that, and then I'd probably make this a bigger font. I'm not going to do that because it doesn't match the other videos. But it's something I could do, something I'm aware of. I mean, if I put it up here, it'd look okay, or down here. That looks really nice. Originally, when I start my first couple thumbnails, or maybe just my first one, I had it like this, and this was in a bigger font down here. But I didn't do it because on video previews, for some reason, it would always cut off, like, it would look like that, where the rest is just black. So it has to go in the middle, or at least vaguely in the middle. That's why it's there. I really don't like how it overlaps their faces. Yeah, it's a really good shot composition, but yeah, I am using the resolution they say to use, and it doesn't even work. I think I have to go with this, just because that cuts off their faces. When I close the one with the laptop, I can open it again. Let's see, that's 1280. Alright, so what would it look like if I got the top third? That'd go straight over his face. But just for fun, let's find out. Nope, that's... It's basically a laptop, it counts. I don't think that would work. What if I get the middle? How does that look? I'd have to put it like down here. I don't like this one as much, but I feel like I have to go with it. Is there a better shot I can get? Let me just look. It has to be of Picard. Picard has to be in it. Let's see if I could do that. You just have to Control Z to victory. If I get the bottom, what does that look like? I have mixed feelings about this. It's okay. Yeah, that might work. I think I like it better than the wall. Alright, so the last thing to do is I always put a vignette on it just because I can. A fairly thick one. I'm not too concerned about the precision there, I just want it on. Okay, let's save that. That's 17. What did I call this one? Squabbling Delegates. Delegates. Thumbnail. Main. And if you want to see the titles for other things, the first one is called High Five, then Boys. The one with Picard and Tracy is just called Tracy. One with Data yelling is just called IE. DNA. Hold Hands. Hold Hands is a great one. Hold Hands is my favorite one. Wesley Thing. The harmonic thing will do what it does. That's a good one, stupid alien. So I'm pretty much happy with that. That should work. Now let me just open up YouTube Studio. Get this uploaded. In fact, I'm going to want 2 YouTube Studio tabs. Alright, Videos tab, Create, Upload, and give me... Where is it? Squabbling Delegates main. Upload thumbnail. Where? Thumbnail main. Yeah, that works. Intakes. Picard is frustrated. Alright. Now open up the previous intake video because I'm just going to copy the description. I think this is 620. I think that's right. Let me just look it up on my other screen. TNG The Chase. Yeah, that's episode 20. Put that in the correct thing. Actually, don't put it in the correct thing, because there's another step I have to do. And then copy... What did I just click? Whatever, I'm not going to save that anyway. Copy all the tags. Paste the tags. Anything else I'm missing? That all looks correct. Monetization, I'm not going to bother with, even though theoretically I could enable it, but as soon as this finishes processing, it's going to get copyright claimed. So I'm not going to bother right now. If by chance it doesn't, then I guess I could put monetization on. So there's one more thing that I need to do, and that is I need to think of a witty comment that I can put in the video description to encourage people that people would want to reply to and drive viewer interaction and help the algorithm a little bit. So I just need to comment something. It doesn't have to be right now. I just do it later. But I always add a comment the night before I post it, or I post it the night before and add a comment, and then I put it to scheduled for the morning. Let's see. Let's just watch this again and see if anything comes to mind.
I know
Drive
how much
viewer
the professor meant
interaction.
to you, and how much you want to find out what.
Did I forget to fade this out? How does it look without a fade? You know what? I don't care. It's done. Nobody watches the end of the video. Everyone always clicks
I know
off
how
5
much the
seconds
professor
before the
meant
end.
to you, and how much you want to find out what happened. But staring at these numbers isn't going to bring him back. Starfleet is relying on your mediation efforts
Counselor, this is not simply a case of me taking the Enterprise and its crew on some wild goose chase to purge myself of guilt and remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take
Audio
full
still sounds wrong, but
responsibility.
yeah, it's good enough. It'll work.
Captain.
This was a slightly more involved one. Some of them, in fact, let me load up, say IE. I think IE is the actual easiest one I've done. This one, if it'll actually load, it has to spin up that hard drive again. Nope, that's Tracy. I don't want Tracy. IE is what I want. Tracy was slightly more involved. Still not as much as this one, though. Yeah, these videos are just getting more and more complicated to make, because I've already done the easy stuff, because it was easy. So now I'm just getting into the bloopers that are kind of hard to integrate. What even is... I don't even remember. What is this? What's this line? Oh, that's right. So, this one, the IE, was the easiest one to make. All I did was put the video on top of the existing clip, and otherwise just played the same audio from the main thing. And I just had layer the IE on top of it. I didn't even bother getting rid of the voices in the background, if you listen. Because over the background sound from the video, from the main video, you can't hear it anyway, so I didn't bother. It sounds fine. So, just take the easy way out. Don't even take the effort. Anyway, let's open that one back up. Yeah, screw that, I'm not messing with that. That's so much work. Alright, I still just need a witty comment to drive viewer interaction a little bit.
And its crew on some wild goose chase to
2 hours
purge
in.
myself of guilt and remorse. I will not let Galen's death be in vain.
If that means inconveniencing a group of squabbling delegates for a few days, then so be it. I will take full responsibility.
Captain.
I don't know, I don't really have anything in mind. The comment, let me just set this to finished. Just make it private for now. Get the screen away. And, suppose that's it. And I'll try and get this VOD uploaded to YouTube and see how that works out. Okay, I'm glad you hit the bell. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell for more notifications. And some such.